Hi guys, Mr. Bruce. Today's Peppa Pig book, Peppa and the Day at the Museum. But until we start, eyes watching, ears listening, voices quiet, body calm. Okay, here we go, Peppa at the museum. At breakfast, Mummy and Daddy have a surprise. We have a big special day planned, says Mummy Pig. We are going to a museum. What's a museum? Asked Peppa. It's a place full of interesting things. Sometimes those things are very old, said Daddy. Peppa said, older than you? Yes, Daddy said, even older than me. Here we are, said Mommy. They pull up to the big old building next to the museum. The museum is very big, says Peppa. George says, oh! George likes it. Who he has in his hand is Dinosaur. He brings him everywhere. Mummy and Daddy get online and buy tickets for Miss Rabbit. What would you like to see first? Miss Rabbit asks. Peppa says, I want to go see all the jewels in the museum. I think we know what George says. Dinosaur! Dinosaur! The first stop is the King and the Queen's room. It's full of things from long ago. Peppa likes the beautiful robes and the crowns. Look at that crown. It's the biggest one yet, says Peppa. There's a throne, too. Peppa wishes she could sit on it. A throne is where a king or a queen sits. She imagines what it would like to be the queen, to wear the crown and sit on the royal throne. If I were the queen, I would eat cake every day, says Peppa. Well, the family all bows to Royal Highness Peppa. George does not want to wear a crown and sit on the throne. Guess what he wants to go see? Dinosaurs! George stands in the doorway next to the dinosaur rooms. There are many, many unusual creatures in here. Everything is so big, says Peppa in a big voice. Oh, says George in a small voice. George is in heaven. He loves dinosaurs. And look, there's dinosaur bones and fossils. George sees a big dinosaur. Don't worry, says Daddy. That's just the dinosaur's bones. They may be bones, he says, but they're very, very big. Look how big that dinosaur was. George can just imagine what it would like to be a dinosaur. He'd be bigger than Peppa. He would chase Peppa. Dinosaur, dinosaur. George sees something, and it's smaller and not very scary. It's a robot dinosaur that somebody made. Everyone is hungry, so they go to the museum cafe for cake. After the snack, it's time to see the next exhibit. There's a special one at the museum today, says Mummy Pig, and it's all about outer space. George's friend Edmund is at the museum too, and Edmund knows a lot about space. He and George wear space helmets to tour the exhibit. Miss Rabbit gives them their tickets. Look, they have their space helmets on like Mr. Bruce. First, everyone gets on board the space ride. Blast off, says Mr. Rabbit. He's the tour guide. This is just pretend, isn't it, asks Peppa? She's a little bit scared. Oh, yes, Mr. Rabbit says. It's just pretend. We're not really going into outer space today. The rocket takes off and takes them to the pretend moon, and there are pretend planets, too. Do you know what planets are made of? Asks Mr. Rabbit. What are planets made of? Peppa says cardboard. Well, these are made out of cardboard, but the real planets are made out of other things like rocks and ice and gas. What about cheese? Asks Daddy. I thought the moon was made of green cheese. Oh, that's silly, Daddy. That's just a story they tell us. If this was the real moon, you could jump over my head, said Mr. Rabbit. Did you know why? Edmund is smart, and Edmund says, because there's less gravity holding us to the ground. You're right. We can make you feel like you're on the moon with these special rubber bands, and you can bounce up and down and see what it's like. Everybody straps the rubber bands and they jump boing, 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 just like on the moon. Miss Rabbit takes their picture. When they get to the gift shop, Peppa gets the picture of everyone jumping on the pretend moon. Daddy's hungry again, so he gets a piece of moon cheese, not really moon. Then it's time to go home. It's been a great, great day at the museum. Later, Mummy Pig asked Peppa and George, "What was your favorite thing at the museum?" Peppa liked everything at the museum, but she does have a favorite, that crown. George liked the space ride, but that wasn't his favorite. George says, "Dinosaur." Dad Pig says, "I have two favorites, the cake and the moon cheese." And there's the picture of them jumping on the moon. The end. Okay, we have one more story that is left in our Peppa collection, and I'm going to read that tomorrow. Until then, be good to your folks and wash your hands. Bye-bye.